Anna had been at rock bottom for so long that she had forgotten what it was like to see the light. She didn't know that in 90 days she would discover the secret power of those who know how to wait for God's perfect timing. This is the story of a woman who almost gave up on everything, but learned that sometimes God's answer doesn't delay, it arrives at the perfect moment. And if you're tired of waiting, this story will change your perspective forever. I need to tell you something before Anna's story. Have you ever waited so long for an answer that you started thinking God doesn't hear you, that you're shouting into the void? Anna had been shouting for 3 years. 3 years asking for the same thing. 3 years watching everyone around her get what she wanted so desperately. And heaven's answer always seemed to be silence. But what she didn't know was that God was preparing something much greater than what she had asked for. Anna, 38 years old, married for 10 years, had a dream that became a nightmare: being a mother. Each month that passed was a new hope that died. Each negative test was a stab to the heart. Each friend who got pregnant was a painful reminder of what she couldn't have. She tried everything: doctors, treatments, promises, fasting, endless prayers. She spent all their savings on fertility clinics. She underwent tests that hurt her soul, and nothing. The worst part wasn't even her pain. It was seeing her husband pretending everything was okay, but she could see the sadness in his eyes when he saw a child on the street. It was hearing the family whispers, maybe God doesn't want them to have children. It was the question that hammered in her head every dawn. Why does everyone else succeed and I don't? What's wrong with me, Lord? After 3 years of trying, Anna was at emotional rock bottom. She stopped going to church because she couldn't bear to see happy mothers with their babies anymore. She stopped praying because she thought God wasn't listening anyway. She stopped dreaming because it hurt too much. One dawn, she woke up crying once again and made a decision. I'm going to stop asking. I'm going to accept that I won't be a mother. Enough suffering. But that same dawn, a gentle voice whispered in her heart, Anna, I heard every tear of yours, every prayer, every silent cry. I haven't forgotten you. Keep waiting on me. It was the first time in months that she felt peace. It wasn't the answer she wanted, but it was the certainty that God was listening. Anna decided to wait a little longer, not because she had strength, but because she felt that God was still working. 3 months later, the impossible happened. Anna got pregnant naturally, without treatment, without clinics, without medical explanation. But here comes the most incredible part of the story. 2 weeks after discovering the pregnancy, Anna received a call that left her speechless. It was from the city's children's shelter. A 5-year-old girl, an orphan, urgently needed a family. The adoption papers had been ready for months, but the family that was going to adopt had backed out. The child's name had been on Anna's list for 3 years, ever since she registered for adoption. Mrs. Anna, said the social worker, Laura always asks why you're taking so long to come get her. She says she dreams about you every night. Anna couldn't believe it. God wasn't just answering her prayer. He was giving 2 answers at the same time. In 6 months, Anna had a baby in her arms and a 5-year-old girl calling her mom. 2 children who needed her. 2 answers for 3 years of tears. Today, Anna always says, if God had given me children when I asked, Laura wouldn't be my daughter. God's timing didn't delay my blessing. He multiplied it. I asked for 1 child, He gave me 2. I asked to be a mother. He made me a mother to 2 children who needed love. Anna's story reminds me of a man who also knew what it was like to cry in the darkness and wait. King David wrote in his worst moment, "I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth." Psalm 41:3. David understood something that Anna discovered. God always hears our cry, but he answers at the right time, in the right way, with the right blessing. Sometimes we think God is late, but actually, he's preparing something greater than what we asked for. Today, as you listen to me, maybe you're in your own waiting pit. Maybe it's been years asking for the same thing. Maybe you've already thought about giving up because it seems like God doesn't listen. But I want you to know something that Anna and David discovered. Your cry reached heaven. God heard every tear of yours, every desperate prayer, every silent cry at dawn. He hasn't forgotten you. He's preparing an answer that will be worth every day of waiting. Keep waiting, not because you have strength, but because He is faithful. Not because you understand His timing, but because you trust His heart. The answer is coming. And when it arrives, you'll understand why it was worth waiting for. And if this story gave hope to your heart, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who's tired of waiting. Sometimes a person just needs to remember that God hears, even in the silence. Until the next video, remember, those who wait on God are never disappointed. The answer may take time, but when it comes, it's always worth it. Leave in the comments, what are you waiting for from God now? Let's pray for each other and remember that He always hears our cry